Hello, welcome back to NHL Best Bets. Last night was night of many games, but our qualitative research picked a bit wrong ones because LA Kings wasn't ready for this match against Arizona. It looked like they have given up the hopes for the playoff spot, but Arizona still fights full speed against St. Louis. So Arizona won 4-0 quite convincingly, and without good goaltending from LA Kings, it could be a bit bigger number for sure. Then Montreal-Calgary game that looked quite clearly under for first period, but then defenses start to leak, and end result was Montreal's defeat 2-5. So Calgary won second game in a row at home against Montreal. That maybe not has happened every season. But Tommy, any comments?
Yeah, of course, it's not nice to see the red color there, but we knew the risks when we took Los Angeles Kings against Arizona in this already a playoff matchup in a way. Arizona is still holding the fourth place in that division. Los Angeles Kings still have a chance chasing the playoff spot, but after this game, I think they are out. They were very lousy compared to the game they played against Minnesota, where they got about 40 shots on goal. They were pressurizing. Now they were nowhere to be seen, and they gave the keys to the victory for Arizona Coyotes, who took their chances and scored 4 goals. A great game for Darcy Kemper returning to goal for Arizona. So a good thing going on there. They can still keep their spot. Of course, there is St. Louis Blues chasing after them 1 point less and 3 games in hand for Blues. So Arizona might be the one team that surprises the whole league and gets to the playoffs, but let's see how the Blues do. But very disappointing for the Kings, and of course disappointment for us as well, because we saw some value for the home team here. And in the Northern Division, the playoff battle rages there as well. Montreal still ahead of Calgary, but now they've lost twice in a row to the same team. This game was supposed to be a very close matchup. It was in the beginning, but then Calgary was a lot better team starting from the second period. Surprisingly so, I think that Canadians kind of lost their plot trying to defend, and then when they had to chase, it was all over, because the team, like we keep repeating, is not that good offensively, so that they would be able to match these teams that are, if they allow 3 or more goals, they will lose the game. So they have to be better defensively and try to strike back when they have the chance. It's a potential team, a young team with a couple of veteran players, but not good enough to go on this sort of a rampage as Calgary forced them to do. So good win at home. The curse has been lifted from Calgary, so I do think that this will be an extremely interesting battle for the final playoff spot in the North.
Yeah, that series continue not tonight, but tomorrow, when Montreal plays third game in a row in Calgary. And if Calgary wins that one, it looks like they've had maybe some chances to reach Montreal. They played one a game more than Montreal and are now 6 points behind, but 2 points each time could bring naturally them closer to this fourth playoff spot in Scotia North Division.
Yeah, and in this case, it's remarkably important to keep the other team without points. So don't take it to the overtime. You can't allow the other team to have any points. So I think next game Calgary plays, they do have to win again, which they almost have to win every game for the rest of the season, depending a bit how Montreal will do.
How about other games last night? We discussed few of those in yesterday's call. Florida finally beat Carolina in overtime. Barkov did what was expected to do. He scored a game-winning goal after quite a remarkable individual performance there. And finally, I think many Florida fans said finally they won Carolina. So do you think Carolina is maybe not the best team in the Central Division?
I do think they are the second best team after Tampa Bay. But no, this was a very important victory for Florida because they, for their sake, that they do need the confidence that they are able to beat Carolina, who's been a bit of a bug for them, very difficult team to beat. Carolina, on the other hand, they played a good game, no fault there, but Florida managed to get the goals where they had the chances. So I do think this was a very even matchup in all by all categories, and there was not a lot of difference from the last game. But Florida managed to take the one notch higher. But I do still think that Carolina has the upper hand when these two teams meet. But like I said, very good win for Florida and very important for the confidence that they are able to challenge these top two teams.
Yeah, Florida took this victory after they've lost 6 games in a row to Carolina. So quite important victory out of their last game between these teams before the playoff starts. So if these teams can one of them beat Tampa, they will then face in divisional final with very high probability.
Yeah, it will be interesting matchup whoever faces Tampa, because that can be seen as the real final of this division. I do think that Tampa Bay is still the best team, maybe in the league, but definitely in this division.
How about overall our predictions last night? Even though our qualitative approach wasn't so fruitful, how about the quantitative machine?
Of course, the machine beats man again, so we managed to pick a couple of those that went wrong. In the side value, the system created plus 98 profit, a couple of good wins, 105 plus from the Washington Capitals beating New York Islanders, a game that we thought that will be very close. Capitals won the first one after shootout 0-1. This one 6-3, so a little bit better performance from the Capitals. A good win by the system as well. The other games were the favorites winning, so not a lot of profit per game, but overall plus 98 is a decent result from the side value point of view. And in Moneyline, the profits, of course, then a little bit higher, plus 236. And also in totals, which have been a little bit in the low for the weekend. Now they got a little bit better, so plus 270. We had 6 correct out of 9 picks last night.
How about overall so far in this season? Do we have some teams that we have been more accurate than others?
Yeah, there is definitely a couple of, we can see the difference in the divisions as well. In the West, we haven't done very well. We are overall in the minus quite clearly, and in the Central, we are there about in the zero. But that means that in the North, for example, the whole side value is plus 2,577. So we've been very accurate in the Northern Division. For the teams, we do have a couple of standout teams this season. So Boston Bruins, all the games they've played, we made a profit of 1,212, which is about 25% profit of the stakes, which is a massive amount of profit. Similar numbers for Calgary Flames, as we have predicted them a lot more correct than many others, plus 1,660, and a third team that's done pretty well, Ottawa Senators, plus 1,301. So in the North, we have been very, very good, very accurate, and a lot better than the odds makers, which makes me really happy. But in the West, we have almost lost the same amount. So the system is correct most of the time, but not all the time.
Yeah, I think in the West, the Vegas has been a bit underrated by our simulations because the amount of shots they are making in the games, and by that way the side value or expected value have been for opponent team in many cases, even though Vegas is a very strong team in the West.
Yeah, definitely that's the case. There are 2 teams in the West that we've been bad in predicting, is Vegas, and the other one, this up and down team who nobody knows anything about what's gonna happen, is San Jose Sharks. So they have won the games that we thought they're gonna lose, and then they have lost the games that we thought they were gonna win. So it's quite heavily in the minus. in San Jose and Vegas. But those are basically the two teams that have caused a lot of trouble. Otherwise, the numbers are pretty even.
Yeah, some of these teams, like let's say Vegas or Colorado, maybe you have had better chances to win if you have been just betting on the trend. So now Vegas has won 9 games in a row. So by betting exactly as previous game end, you have had a good collection of profits so far.
Yeah, the thing is that the odds are also reacting, so they are going down all the time the more they win. So in the end, it might be that you bet the last one is wrong and then you lose all your money. So we'll see how they manage. But Vegas has definitely been a bit better than the system expected, or that even we predicted. So hats off to Vegas.
That's why we have it here. Then we go for tonight games. We have only few games in a schedule, and we have picked 2 of them. Boston goes to Pittsburgh. Both teams have played pretty well recently, and Pittsburgh as a home team higher in the standings, plus 106 good positive odds with great value. And another game, Columbus, that has already lost all the hope for the playoffs, goes to Tampa, that has basically secured the spot in playoffs and is thinking maybe the playoffs more than a regular season. Both teams have good goaltending, and by default, especially Columbus is defensive-oriented group. So under 5.5 goals, minus 104 provides good value for all the bettors that are betting under in this game.
Yeah, only 4 games to pick from, and these are the ones we found that have a lot of value. Pittsburgh Penguins hosting Boston Bruins, this meeting of 2 Goliaths with a couple of veteran players. Both of the teams have pretty much won everything they can. Now Boston in the 4th place, Pittsburgh in the 2nd place in the division. Pittsburgh beat New Jersey Devils quite comfortably with some issues in there keeping the lead, which probably taught them a lesson that never let go in this league. Boston also lost to Buffalo 6-4 in their last game, so there is a little bit of a bounce back expected. But with this value, these teams that are very evenly matched in any case, in whatever meters we use, and Pittsburgh gets the plus 106 profit odds in their home game, we have to go with the Penguins. Both teams likely to miss one of their top centermen, so Patrice Bergeron for Bruins is likely to be out, and also Evgeny Malkin, who has returned on the ice practice but will be out for this game from Pittsburgh. But Penguins have shown that they are capable of producing offensively without Malkin, and same goes for the Bruins. So I do think this is very even matchup. I do hope for a lot of goals because both teams can do that and not very proficient in defense. Boston Bruins changed a little bit from last season, for example, more offensive than defensive team, but still playing great ice hockey. So going to be an interesting matchup already starting early on in here. We can also watch it in the simulations. Penguins 58%, while the odds indicate somewhere around 49 with those positive odds. So let's go for the Penguins. It will be a tight matchup, but let's hope for a lot of entertainment. And in the other game, Tampa Bay, Columbus, it's a no-brainer in this case. Tampa Bay will do bare minimum to beat Columbus. They do want to keep the top spot in their division, so they are looking for the victory, but probably not gonna put their full effort in these sort of games. Columbus out of the games already. Not much going on offensively. Very grinding team, fighting for the pucks, aggressive. But exactly the sort of hockey that Tampa Bay is capable of stopping. So I do think it will be similar as the last game was 3-1 for Tampa Bay. Not much has changed. Both teams playing the way they play. And this is a great value for under in the simulations. About 60% of the games under 5.5 goals.
2 other games that we have tonight are from the East Division. Buffalo goes to New York, plays against Rangers in Madison Square Garden. New Jersey travels to Philadelphia and faces Flyers over there. Basically without any significant surprises. All of these 4 teams are out of the playoffs. So do you think there is a free-flowing hockey with many goals, or are these teams going to keep the way that they have been playing and not scoring too many during these games?
I don't think that Rangers are the team that have the chance to score more goals, especially against Buffalo. So Rangers still hanging by the thread. They have a theoretical chance to make the playoffs, but very unlikely so. But against Buffalo, they should match up really nicely. So I think Rangers will win this. Too bad the odds are very lousy for the home team, minus 295. So even with the percentage of simulation 72 going for the Rangers, there is barely any value to bet on that team. Buffalo, of course, have nothing to play for, and they're playing just for their pride, which is a bit diminished during this season. So I do think Rangers are a lot better team, and they will win this. But in Philadelphia, it will be an interesting matchup, even if there is no real stakes at hand. Both of these teams were predicted to do better this season. They are young teams that are going forward, but very disappointing. By all means, by every category, by every position, not really any breakthrough players. Kind of a step back from what was expected from these teams. So I do think that New Jersey Devils have a little bit of undervalued here. So we do have 45% in the simulations for the Devils, while the odds indicate about 35%. So I don't see Philadelphia anymore that good a team as the odds indicate. So I would go with the Devils taking the surprise victory here because, like I said, not much to play for, but both teams, young guys, want to show that they can actually do it in this level.
Let's see what kind of surprises there will be tonight, and we'll follow naturally all of these games and come back tomorrow with the further analyses and picks for next week.
Let's see some green tomorrow.